Every time you learn something new, you make new connections in your brain. That's what learning is. Learning is forging new synaptic connections. And the Nobel Prize laureate Kandel in the year 2000 found that when people learn just one bit of information, they doubled the number of connections in their brain from 1,300 connections to 2,600 connections. But if they didn't review that information, if they didn't think about it, if they didn't repeat it, those circuits pruned apart within hours or days. So if learning is making new synaptic connections, then remembering is maintaining and sustaining those connections. So we are going to develop concepts and ideas in the realm of science. And science is the contemporary language of mysticism. Science demystifies the mystical. And we're going to combine a little quantum physics and a little neuroscience and a little neuroendocrinology, a little psychoneuroimmunology, and even a little epigenetics, because all of those sciences point the finger at possibility. And the moment you start talking about religion or culture or tradition, you divide an audience, but science creates community and it unifies people. And I promise you that when it comes down to applying this information, nothing will be left to conjecture, to superstition or dogma. You'll understand what you're doing and why. And when you understand the what and the why, the how gets easier. So then we are going to develop concepts and ideas, and it's going to begin to add new connections in your brain. Adding new stitches into the three-dimensional tapestry of your gray matter causes your brain to begin to fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations. And whenever you make your brain work differently, you're changing your mind. So mind is the brain in action. So as I begin to remind you that you are the creator of your life, and you begin to assemble new neural architecture, and we begin to review it, that theory, that philosophy, that knowledge, that information should then be applied in some way into your life. So then, once you understand that information intellectually, you have to begin to apply it. You have to personalize it. You have to demonstrate it. You're going to have to modify your behavior in some way and do something differently. Now, if you can get your behaviors to match your intentions, you can get your actions equal to your thoughts, you can get your mind and body working together, you should have a new experience. Now, the research on experience says that experience enriches the brain. It's going to connect more circuits in your brain. It's going to begin to string more neurons together. And the moment those neurons begin to organize into networks, enriching the philosophical connections in your brain, the brain begins to make a chemical. And that chemical is called a feeling or an emotion. And when you begin to feel like your future is happening, when you begin to feel gratitude or unlimited or overjoyed or inspired, now you are teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind is intellectually understood. So we could say then that knowledge is for the mind and experience is for the body. And in that moment, you're beginning to embody the truth of that philosophy, literally signaling new genes in new ways and rewriting the biological program, chemically instructing your body to understand what your mind is intellectually understood. Now, in that moment where your mind and body are aligned, all of a sudden you're in a new state of being. So it means then, if you've initiated that philosophy and done something with it, and produced some new experience, if you've done it once, you should be able to do it again. And when you begin to replicate an experience over and over again, you're going to continue to neurochemically condition your mind and body to begin to work as one. Now, when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it as well as your mind, or your body knows as well as your mind, now you're in a state of being. Now you're beginning to master that philosophy, and it's becoming innate in you. It's second nature, it's easy, it's familiar. You've practiced it so many times that you don't even know how you do it. You know how you do it, but you don't know how you know how. And when you get to this level of excellence now, all of a sudden it becomes subconscious. It becomes who you are.